The more you can sit over on this side toward the front, the faster we'll be able to move things along, so that would be great. Matthew.
How are you?
I'll have to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So one more time, I'll ask everybody to please take your seats. Doing a great job, thank you. So I know there's a few who will be finding seats. The good news is I've got that light right in my eye, so I can't really see. So I'm going to just go right ahead and start the evening. Good evening to everybody. Thank you very much for coming to the 2014 and 7th annual Marcum Tech Top 40 event here at the Oakdale Toyota Oakdale Theater. We are delighted that you are here. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Connecticut Technology Council, many of whom are here tonight, some of whom are designated as being here tonight, and others who don't have it on their name tag, but we're delighted that the board has come out as strongly as it has to support this event. We're delighted that you have all come here as well. For any of you who I have not had the opportunity to meet, and I'm sorry if I haven't, my name is Bruce Carlson. I was elected to be the president of the Connecticut Technology Council in July, and I'm absolutely delighted that to be involved. One thing, I know that at some point over the next hour during the program, you're going to need to look at your mobile device in order to see whether that all-important email has actually come in or not. While you do that, download the Mingle app. You'll see it's easy to do. I have done it, which means that it's very easy to do, and that you will, I think, be able to then have the second half of the networking become even more valuable to you than the first half by virtue of being able to see who else is here and who you would like to run into. The OG, who is the head of Mingle, is here, and should you have any questions, I'm sure he would be happy to help answer that. Let me move on and say that events like this absolutely cannot happen without our sponsors. And I would like to just run through quickly the list of sponsors. All of them are shown behind me, but clearly the title sponsor, Marcum, has been doing this for a long number of years. I think the 7th year that they've been involved with us in this, and we're very happy to have them as the title sponsor. We also have as the platinum sponsors the law firm of Pullman and Cumley, Webster Bank, Quast Media, and Massive Productions. Supporting and media sponsors, the Austin Lawrence Group, Business New Haven, Capital One Bank, Comcast Business, Connecticut, Diversified Project Management, the Fairfield County Business Journal, the Hartford Business Journal, HB Live, Premier Limousines, Robert Half Technologies, TriNet Passport, UK Trade and Investment, and Wellstone Insurance. I'd like you all to please join me in thanking them with a round of applause. I'll try not to be too long in a couple of personal remarks that I'd like to make before we get into the awards ceremony. But I think there's some important issues that have, that in my time with the Tech Council and even before being with the Tech Council that I've been thinking about. 9 months ago, Matthew Nemerson, who's here tonight, took the job of the Economic Development Administrator at the City of New Haven. Any of you who know politics know that once the mayor or a governor or any elected official asks you to come, you go right away. And so the board of the Connecticut Technology Council asked me to come in on an interim basis to help them think through the answer to what seemed to be a pretty simple question. And that simple question was, what's the relevance of a tech council in 2014 when you have a number of different companies that all are using technology in one way, shape, or form? Why have a tech council? What's the importance? 20 years ago, when the Tech Council started, a group of people, some of whom are in the audience tonight, came together because they felt that public policy was not leaning in technology's way, and that technology companies were actually being harmed rather than supported. And they needed to come together to be able to bring that to light and hopefully to make changes. And the question then about relevance is, are we irrelevant? And my answer, of course, is no. And the reason why I think we are relevant today, perhaps even more relevant, is that technology is moving so fast in so many areas. It's moving in front of the legislative and the regulatory process. And so what you have people who then try to regulate technologies that they don't understand. And the companies that you're going to be hearing about tonight are companies that really don't have the time to stop and help educate public policy makers, regulators, other people. And that's a role that the Technology Council really needs to play, and I believe will be playing. Areas like, what do we do with Bitcoin? What do we do with drones? I mean, all of these are critical opportunities for companies in the state of Connecticut, and we need to be able to help those companies not only survive, but thrive. We also, because we have so many members across a wide range of both technologies as well as sizes, we're looking at those issues that are important across the board for the Technology Council members and the 2,500 technology companies in the state of Connecticut. Issues like workforce availability, the affordable high-speed communications, funding at all stages of the growth cycle for a technology company. All of these are critically important. All of these are areas that the Tech Council either has already gotten involved in or plans to get involved in the very near future. So I say absolutely. This is a relevant time for there to be a Tech Council. I'm delighted that the Tech Council leadership asked me to come in and be the president and to really lead the council over the next few years and be able to move in the direction where we're able to help you all and all of the companies in Connecticut like you who could be growing those jobs that everybody is talking about, but nobody seems to have a plan for. Tonight, we celebrate the best and the most successful of the tech firms in Connecticut. This is really a snapshot of what's happening in Connecticut today, whether it's being able to see the shifts away from that defense and manufacturing finance area into whether it be our energy experts, whether it be the working in the cloud, as you'll see a number of our companies are, or the race for therapeutics that actually work. All of that is very important. All of that is happening. All of that is being celebrated tonight. One area, when I talk about energy, that I would just like to note is that fuel cell energy is one of the national, if not international, firms in developing fuel cells, located in Danbury, have their factory in Torrington, I believe. And for those of you who may not know this fact, back in around 2000, 2001, Connecticut had over 50% of the employees that were working in fuel cells were working in fuel cells, on fuel cells in Connecticut. We've lost that to some extent, and I think we need to really work hard in trying to be able to regain it. A company like Fuel Cell Energy, a company like Proton Onsite, those are companies that are helping us be able to do that. And I'm delighted to say that Fuel Cell Energy has offered as one of our displays something that we have done a number of years in being able to identify a technology or an invention that came from Connecticut. Well, Fuel Cell Energy has provided over here to my right a fuel cell. And I would ask you that at the end of the program and while you're having your meal, please feel free to come by and take a look at it. So with that, what I would like to do is like to say that the Marcum, our title sponsor, has been, they are a national accounting and advisory firm, 3 offices here in Connecticut, 1 in New Haven, Hartford, and Greenwich. They're ranked among the top 15 firms in the nation, headquartered in New York City, but we're delighted that they have as many people working here in Connecticut as they do. They have 160 partners in 23 offices throughout the United States, the Grand Cayman, and China. At this time, I would like to ask John Schuyler, partner in the New Haven office, to please come and offer his welcome. And while John is coming, I just say how delighted I am that he's here tonight. John and I have known each other for a long, long time. Thanks, John.
Thank you, and welcome everybody to the 7th Annual Tech Top 40. I'd like to start out by congratulating all of the Marcum Tech Top 40 winners this year, and if we could give them a brief hand. I'd also like to thank our co-sponsors, Bruce, Mike Sricka, and everyone at the Connecticut Tech Council for another year of very hard work, partnership, and leadership, which ramped up to what you see tonight. And last, of course, thanks to our honored guests and honorees. This will be my last Marcum Tech Top 40 from up here at the podium. And I put a pause there because I was really scared that might be considered an applause line. It makes me both proud and happy to see this event, which is its 7th year, to continue to grow and highlight the success of the Connecticut tech community. I've learned a lot about what goes into success and failures in my years in public accounting, and I'm not going to say, despite some attempts to make me, how many years that is, but I will say that when I started, paper, pencils, and 10-key calculators reigned. Computers were all mainframes and were programmed with COBOL on punch cards. Faxes, which transmitted at their start at a blazing 6 minutes per page, had not yet replaced the telex. I don't think anybody here really remembers the telex, and frankly, despite the fact we all put it on our business cards, anybody who really uses faxes anymore. And the first personal computers we gave our staff weighed 23 pounds, were the size of a suitcase, and had a 9-inch screen. What has continuously been true over time is that context can be everything in the environment. Like the old joke about the time that the Dalai Lama walked into the pizza parlor and said, "Please, make me one with everything." Sorry, everybody's supposed to laugh at that. Your environment does, to a certain degree, dictate outcomes. And a key determinant of Marcum's success over the years has been the health of the business environment in which it exists. Connecticut has been sometimes a challenging environment, but always an exciting one in which to do business. Connecticut is and always has been a dynamic environment for those with special brand of technology and smarts, which is called Yankee ingenuity. Since its inception, the Tech Top 40 has been special for me. Technology has always been one of our key industry groups and was always been the one that's been most fun for me, whether it's advanced manufacturing, alternative energy, public and private companies, software, internet, e-commerce, semiconductors, life sciences, basically the fields that you're going to see here tonight. But most important, technology is key to this state's future. We don't pump oil. We can't sell rocks. We don't have iron deposits and silver and gold. We don't have endless fields of black earth to grow subsidized corn. For those of us here old enough to remember Alistair Cook's America, Cook posited that if the United States had been settled from west to east, New England, because of its poorness in natural resources, would still be very sparsely populated. Our key resources aren't natural resources. Our key resources are brain power paired with entrepreneurial spirit. In this event, for the past 6 years, and I think going forward to this year, has highlighted those attributes and the people who will take this state to its future. Tonight, we will celebrate the success of technology and innovation in our state. We celebrate the success of our government and leaders, business community, peer groups, and all those who nurture new and amazing things. And above all, we're here to celebrate the 40 very remarkable companies that in short order will become the 215 class of Marcum Tech Top 40 winners. So I'm going to shut up at this point. So we're going to begin. And I'd like to invite to the stage Alex DiCepolo, a good friend and partner at Marcum, and he will take a minute with some interesting facts on this year's winning companies. Thank you.
Thanks, John. It's good to be back to honor this year's class of 2014. I do have some fun facts, but before that, I'd like to congratulate and make some comments on all of you, the winners. The more of you I get to know, the clearer it becomes to me of your raw intelligence and creativity. That all of you process and continue to grow over the years. And many of you have heard me joke about being forced into the tax profession as a means of hanging out with most of you. And that's only because you're forced into it with regard to having to file tax returns. But there's another trait that I noticed, again, getting to know most of you over the years. And that trait, beside the raw intelligence and creativity, is best described by using a standing TV series, Star Trek. And in particular, at the beginning of each episode, we all remember the statement, "You boldly go where no man has gone before." And our winners have this, what I call Star Trek mentality, this Star Trek mindset. And this includes the confidence enough to compete in a foreign jurisdiction when they have not even been in a particular country before. It also is demonstrated with the ability to take an application and cross over that application into different industries. And the best example of that was a former Tech Top 40 winner, RSL, who created a fiber optic technology. And that technology was used by our military for lighting, special type lighting on battleships and in areas where there were explosives. That basic technology was transferred, in a sense, And that same technology is now being used as a measuring device in the oil and gas industry. And that's my definition of to boldly go where no man has gone before. Well, I'm up here to give you some stats, so let's get to it. The 2014 Tech Top 40 companies have revenue that range from $3 million to Priceline $6.8 billion. The average revenue is $452 million, and we have, of all of our 40 companies, a mean revenue of $37.4 million, which indicates, by most definitions, that our companies would be defined as smaller in size than normal. This year's field includes 12 publicly traded companies and 28 privately held companies. Fairfield County is home to 16 of our Tech Top 40 winners, and New Haven and Hartford both have 10. 7 years ago, Marcum started this program together with the Connecticut Technologies group, and we had a discussion and started looking at some of our repeat winners. And we decided to create the Marcum Tech Top 40 Hall of Fame. And we looked at the companies, and before I get into some of the repeat winners, I just want to provide you with a kind of a refresher of how the winners are selected. It's based on revenue growth over a 4-year period. And the larger the company, the more difficult it is to be a winner. So hats off to Priceline. Also, consecutive winners, in effect, what you're doing is you're taking that 4th base year off and replacing it with a subsequent year. Very difficult to do. It clearly is measuring consecutive years of growth. And we decided to use a 5-year benchmark for our Hall of Fame. And so we have a number of companies that start with, I'll start with 7 years of being in the Tech Top 40 program. And that would mean starting as a winner in 2008 and being a winner, obviously, every year. We have 10 of those companies. They are Alexion Pharmaceuticals, APS Technologies, Servalis, Evolution One, Fuel Cell Energy, Hire One, Job Target, Priceline.com, Tango, and Ticket Network. We also have companies that have been in the program for 6 years. Those companies are Biomed Devices, M2 Media Group, and Triple Point Technology. And at the 5-year mark, which is, again, our threshold, we have Adeptra, Defib Tech, Health Plan One, Metrum Research Group, Passer Aerospace, and Proton Onsite. If we can have a round of applause for all of those Hall of Fame winners. Before Bruce comes back up, I just wanted to say this is a night of celebrating. You should all be proud, all of the winners should be proud of your accomplishments. And Marcum did put together a photo booth, which I said I would pitch. And basically you go into our little booth there and put something ridiculous on like this and take pictures that you can take home. And so please enjoy the evening. Take care.
Thank you very much, Alex. I want to just recognize the fact that sitting right in front of me is the Commissioner of the Department of Economic and Community Development, Catherine Smith. We're absolutely delighted to have her with us tonight. And she and I get to share the stage in just a little while. This year, as we had last year, we conducted a survey of the Tech Top 40 winners, of the CEOs of the winning companies. And I'd like to just run through a few of the pieces of information that we got from the survey. Growth slide. As one would expect, the class of 2014 winning companies are optimistic about growth in the state of Connecticut, with just over 77 predicting continued fast growth and the balance of the companies anticipating moderate growth. If you were thinking about what Alex was just talking about with the Hall of Fame companies, those companies were clearly optimistic about growth in the state of Connecticut. When it comes to reasons for the company's success, the CEOs most often cited their workforce, primarily about the talented, loyal, and hardworking people and their leadership team. Not surprisingly, the CEOs are enthusiastic about living in Connecticut, and 78% listed that our quality of life was what they liked most about the state. However, the CEOs still have reservations about where we are in the state, and that 16% said that they would confidently be recommending the state of Connecticut as a place to grow a company to one of their colleagues. 3 items sit at the top of the list of items that the CEO keeps the CEOs up at night. And incidentally, these are exactly the same 3 in the same order as last year: the lack of available talent, government regulations, and an economic slowdown. As you might imagine, that when we asked the CEOs if they had one thing to say to the governor, what they would say. However, we've tried to narrow those down and group them. And I would say that the 2 things are asking for a lower tax burden and that he consider directing more tax incentives toward the tech community than have been sent there. Finally, and I think this is very important because of how successful this choice was last year. There was, most of the CEOs chose either the Nationals or the Orioles to be in the World Series. Last year, the selection was that the Red Sox would win the World Series, and look what happened. So I would say this is a time to be following the astute pickers that are in this group of CEOs. So let's move on to the awards presentation, what the real purpose of what we're here for tonight. Before we announce the winners, we have a brief video of some of the CEOs from the winning companies. We videotaped 5 CEOs this year just to hear their philosophies on the successes in leadership. If you listen carefully to these comments, you'll hear a couple of common themes. By the way, I'd like to acknowledge that Quas Media and Massive Productions helped us in putting this video together. They did a wonderful job of shooting and editing this video, and I hope that you enjoy it.
I'm Josh Jabal. I'm the CEO of Core Informatics. We make software solutions for companies and organizations that are engaged in scientific discovery, research, and development to help them improve their operational efficiency.
I'm Bill Steele. I'm the chairman, CEO, and founder of KenCast in Norwalk, Connecticut. KenCast, basically, we're delivery boys. We work typically for customers who want to move content. So what we do is we deliver these items, movies, videos, highly reliably. They're encrypted.
My name is Mark Gastonguay. I'm President and CEO of Marcum Research Group. We're a Connecticut-based modeling and simulation solution provider. Our business focuses on providing solutions that help biotech developers make better decisions by using all the available information in a quantitative way before actually going out and conducting experiments with the clinical trials.
I'm David Ives. I'm the CEO and founder of TV Eyes. We are a search engine for television and radio. We allow our users to come to our site on a subscription basis and search for keywords of interest.
My name is Matthew Wallace. I am the CEO and president of VR Sim. We build training simulations. We believe that the simulation and gaming fusion of technology represents the textbooks of the 21st century.
TV Eyes really sits